Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. When the price goes up, you sell it all and don't put it back in at the low point where it's down 85%. People will call you a criminal and shoot everyone involved in crypto. Crypto owners will be sent to the gulags. You say, I'm not going to do it, you will mess everything up in the end. Another thing I talked to Chris Berniski about was how worried people are about where the top will come from. Is it already early? Is that okay? It's always been December. They're all scared that things will be different now for some reason. Okay, fine. That's because of PTSD. That's not it. I'm not sure. We don't know. Will it have a bubble top? It doesn't matter. When it comes to digital goods, Raoul Pal is one of a kind. He does a lot of work with macroeconomics and writes about it. Pal has a surprisingly positive view of the world economy right now, which is different from the general negativity that has been prevalent over the past few years. There have been many warnings from people who support sound money about how quickly paper currencies lose value. They say this will cause a financial disaster that will destroy the world economy. Pal still says that the only way to get the world economy going again is to take on even more debt. A lot of smart people think the world economy is going to crash, but these people say there is a way for the US and the world economy as a whole to move forward that will last. Macropol recently gave a talk about macroeconomics and crypto with Blockworks. In it, he talked about how the macroeconomy is changing and what he thinks is the big picture and natural next step for the current debt-based system into the exponential age. In this place, high-tech innovations are being made at very fast rates that will change and affect every part of our lives. According to PALs, this era will be fully bloomed around 2030. At that point, there will be no need to think about debt or GDP because new technologies like AI and robotics will make human abilities infinitely scalable and our productivity exponentially rise. We are now going to show you clips from Raoul Pal's most recent talk. In them, the well-known macro-prudentialist gives a fresh look at the long-term macro picture. Please watch, share, like, and sign up. If you want to talk about the Pals movie, turn on post alerts and write your thoughts below. Thanks and have fun. Talk to people about this to understand it. This is very important to you. As a general rule, people in their 30s to 35s around the world are the 30-year-old population. Blockchain, like the internet, is a service that can be used all over the world. You couldn't invest in them like you could in any of these global service networks, roads, trains, etc. Since this is tokenized, there is a system of behavioral incentives to grow the network. This works like this: as more people join, the number goes up, which makes more people want to join. So more cash in the network means more apps are built, which means the network is used more. It's stupid smart. And this is the first time we've all been a part of something like this. So this asset class, which is an asset that is the same everywhere, doesn't exist. Gold is the only one. But gold, if you go to an Indian village, there is a 50% difference between the bid and offer. This is the same thing that can be traded on a cell phone in India, the Philippines, Fiji, New York, Vancouver, and the Cayman Islands. It is the core layer of the internet for the system for value and storage, and that distributed database is a good that everyone can use. Okay, that's great. The value of the market is $2.5 trillion right now. It will reach $100 trillion by about 2032 if we just use the general rate of growth as a guide. Okay, so this is the best chance ever to get rich. You see this whole how to unfuck my future thing in front of you. This is part of it. Also, don't mess this up. Don't fall off this horse, because it's the big one. To get everyone out of this mess, this is the best macro gift ever. They're in. It's right in front of you. People then ask, yeah, but what am I investing? I thought, okay, listen, turn down all the noise. A lot of decentralized companies offer block room for sale. Each one has a unique block spot. Someone says, hey, mine's the oldest and safest. Someone else says, well, mine's the computer that connects to the internet. Someone says, mine's the faster internet computer. It's just block room for sale. There are many businesses selling blocks of room or apps that run on top of those blocks. That's all the room has. That's all it is, a tool and a choice. Our job here isn't to get religious and philosophical about where to put money into that technology and mess it up. It is our job to make the most of the chance as much as possible. That's a mix of how much risk you're willing to take. Since many people say maximum 10 risk, no. You don't have to take the biggest risk if it's going for $2.5 trillion to $100 trillion. Only draw the main part and a small part of the tail on the side. Moore thinks that AI, AGI, robotics, and other new technologies will help the world economy in the same way that the big group of baby boomers did after WWII. It is being worked on, and the CEO and founder of the Real Vision company says it will be done by 2030. Powell believes that until then, central banks will have to keep printing money, taking on more debt, and making their currencies even less valuable in order to make the whole thing worth less. When you look at how much things cost because of this, Powell says that the present is the best time for big changes ever. Because central banks will keep printing and debasing paper money, there is no question that the prices of assets will go up. Not only that, but we also know that only two assets have done better than this debasement. Crypto is by far the best choice. Powell says buyers should only put their money into one type of asset because diversification is dead. That completely stops the rate of devaluation. After that, they should wait for the boom, which will happen. By 2030, it will be worth $100 trillion, up from about $2 trillion now. In the chat, Powell talks more about macro and the banana zone. I'm really trying to get my point across, but people don't want to hear it. This is an attention space that is led by stories, so they only care about what they can get. I was very clear the whole time. Hey, I've given Solana about 90% of my cash net worth right now. I took some from ETH. I don't have a lot of Bitcoin at the moment. It does not imply that I dislike Bitcoin. The other ones seem to go up more. It's that easy. I have a lot of high-end NFTs that I think will bring up another point. Besides that, I do some guesswork and other things. But the fun of it, I can see why the time span thing scares everyone. I've taken a step back, and I've only realized this in the last 2 weeks. The real thing going on crypto Twitter is everyone's hopes and dreams, which is why the banana zone hits home and why you get this reaction. It's mine, yours, and everyone else's, so they're really afraid that something will go wrong, but they also really want it to go right. This is the problem that everyone is having. People from the last cycle have PTSD, just like people from the cycle before that. The last cycle had a blow-off top and then a crash. This one had a top that was too short, and then it fell down. People are worried about the cycle now. Jeff Bezos didn't seem to care about the business cycle. He had just bought stock. There is a desire for the good you make in a secular bull market. In this case, the good is premium block space, so why the fuck are you trading it? You should buy all the sell-offs. You're all for it if it drops 85%. I was also a macro-cyclical person, so it took me a long time to figure that out. I believe we should sell it at the highest price. From the everything code cycle and other stuff, I think I can pretty much guess what the tops will be like. But does it really matter? Okay, so you might want a house as a 30-year-old, so there are lifestyle chips. Okay, fine. If you've made a lot of money, I tell you. Take it off at the high and nail it. You won't put the same amount back in at the low, down 85%, when everyone is calling you a criminal. They're going to shoot everyone involved in crypto, and crypto owners will be sent to the gulags. You say, I'm not going to do it, you will mess everything up in the end. I also talked to Chris Beniski about how people are becoming very worried about where the top comes from. Is it already early? Is that okay? It's always been December. People are all scared for some reason things will be different now. Okay, fine. That's because of PTSD. That's not it. I'm not sure. We don't know. Will it have a bubble top? It doesn't matter. What scares me the most is what will happen if there is a correction in 2026. Since we don't have 22, we don't have it beating out huge inflation and pandemic stuff. Just think about what would happen if Bitcoin went down 40%, 20% in the NASDAQ.